fight like this. I'm sorry.
Bitch! That's for getting my woman! Bitch! That's for getting my woman! Come on, babe. Get up.
Thanks.
You're
I won't
welcome.
make the same mistake again.
Mwah. I love you. No need to apologize. If you thought Long Fallen Dynasty was going to be like these games, I'm sorry, but you are going to be sorely mistaken. But if you thought it was going to be like these games, you'll enjoy it as much as I did. I had completed Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, including the DLCs, and Dark Souls 1. But nothing could have prepared me for the insane combat stylings of Long Fallen Dynasty. In this video, I'm going to go over my journey of my first 100 deaths in this game, which were mostly boss fights. Oh, I pressed space in time! But before we even get into the gameplay, we are greeted with a super intricate customization screen. I typically don't spend much time on customization in Souls games because you never see much of your character, and even when you do, they're covered in armor. However, I am glad that I took the time to make mine unique because your character is shown in almost every cutscene up close, which is super cool. Oh, she's so cute!
After all this time.
Ew, ew, ew. Why did he do that? Another neat thing you can do is recolor your battle flag, which I loved as well. Change color. Oh my god, you can do everything! Before we move into the first boss, here's a quick rundown of the story that I understand thus far. You play as a nameless warrior who is up against the Yellow Turban guys. Why don't we like the Yellow Turban guys? Because they are a corrupt group whose leaders use other people's ki to create a powerful elixir that essentially transforms them into these huge bosses that wreak havoc. Now it's up to us to stop them and win the, war? That's a dumbed down version of it. It's way cooler and detailed, trust me. Oh, the lore. Within seconds of the game, I noticed something terribly wrong. The camera's fucked in this game. Holy shit. The camera is fucked. The camera and auto-locking system on PC felt like an additional mini-boss that I had to conquer constantly. Thank God, I can't move! But I did my best and pressed on, only shedding a few of my 100 deaths. After some time, I started understanding the leveling system and controls a bit for basic movement. It was time to face the first boss. Fuck! It smells like a boss fight. It stinks!
Any who oppose us shall know only the end of our blades!
So, everyone knows the first boss is rough in Souls games. I mean, Gundyr took me 3 hours to beat the first time. Let's fucking go! But I was not ready for this fucker. With the learning curve of the controls and the combat, the first few goes made this boss feel impossible. Fuck! Oh, I got stunned! Oh, shit. Fuck. Ow. Oh, I fucked that. Okay, I'm getting it. Eventually, I was finally getting the hang of deflecting, learning attack moves, and dodging when I got the worst news I had gotten all week. I was killing it!
Damn it! What is that power?
No! There's a second phase?
Shall not betray my brother's trust!
No! I'm so sweaty! Oh, you're joking! I should have known. But eventually I beat him, sadly after he had already taken about 20 of my precious lives. A big change in this game is that you are not alone. After the tutorial, you meet and are accompanied by many different NPCs, and most of them are great. I loved them. I'll lend my courage to you anytime. And some are an additional handicap when you are facing enemies. Chow Chow down. Fuck you, Chow Chow. I fucking hate you so much. You do have the option of letting your NPCs get downed and leaving them behind, but sometimes having them take aggro off of you is a huge plus. The next boss was right around the corner and I was not prepared. More pain
This
and
foe
suffering!
may pose us a challenge. Be sure to keep your guard up.
This werewolf really tacked up the death counter. However, this really taught me the mechanics and movement of the combat in the game. Oh my god, what? I pressed space and time again! But right when I thought I had finally learned how to play, I ran into the most rage-inducing issue. Dude, literally, it's like I feel like it's not even taking my inputs anymore. In normal Souls games, if you fat roll, it is very obvious all around. In this game, if you start fat rolling, you may only notice this by a tiny weight icon at the bottom of your screen. Why is this important, Carrot? You may ask. Because if you're too chonky, you will not deflect, which is like the only way to fight bosses in this game. Anyways, I beat the boss and we have about 50 deaths to go. Fuck, quadpedal, or whatever the fuck it's called. Is this anime? No. Now that I had my ass beat twice, I was really getting in the swing of things, and the next boss only took me 3 tries. Wow. Yeah, bitch! Now guys, this is time for my confessional when I tell you that this game is much easier than any Souls game I've ever played. Beyond having a summon at all times, there is also this OP magic system where essentially you have wizard powers, which are your typical boosts, throwable powers, and beast powers. Meet this bitch! Beast powers are given to you when basically an NPC believes in you after completing their quest, and some of them do absurd amount of damage.
Let our strength match that of the Qinlong itself.
It's a dragon! Wow! Definitely anime. We had finally ran into a mage-like boss. He even announced his magical skills to us.
Just try to evade my sorcery, if you can.
Although I was finally challenged with a new boss type, he was no match for my wrath. Emergency heal! Oh yeah, I hope you like that, motherfucker! Die, bitch! After the previous 2 bosses not being terribly bad, I feared that the game wasn't going to be much more difficult here on out now that I had the controls and movement down. But I was wrong, because every preceding boss up until the time of this recording has been extremely difficult for me. This was my favorite boss so far. It had a mixture of mage skills and swordsman skills, and it looked so cool. He's like a... What the hell? Are you fucking serious? I quickly realized that some moves with these more difficult bosses are just better to run from rather than trying to deflect. Yes, baby! Yes! I did Overall, I was very impressed with the boss and enemy diversity. I wasn't expecting so many bosses, let alone huge, crazy-looking ones. disgusting! Unfortunately, guys, this boss pushed me over the 100 mark. Way over. Please, no! I pressed space in time! But never fear, here's footage of me finally defeating it via cheese. I think if you go into Long Fallen Dynasty with no expectations of your typical Souls formula and just embraced its stylistic combat, you'll love it as much as I am. But if worse comes to worse, you could always play Sekiro for a 5th time.